No,
One
I
sec.
said it if you're married. I said men like.
No. Okay. I will read it verbatim.
Okay.
Number 7. This is answer number 7 in response to any dating topics takes you want to speak on. If so, what? That men should pay for everything and be a provider for women they are dating. I think this idea pushes women into being unproductive, entitled, and lazy.
Yes.
Then you follow by saying men should provide for their wives with children who are stay-at-home mothers. Sure, but women should never rely on the man for his wallet and should be focused on their education.
Yes.
Boo.
What about it?
So I'm a little confused here. These are a bit contradictory.
So if you have children with a man and you want to be a stay-at-home mother, I think yes, then a man should provide for you and give you that lifestyle if he impregnates you and wants that from you, or if you want that for yourself. But I feel like if in this culture it's like, oh, we need to date men who are providers, and that pushes women into not being educated, not trying to get money for themselves, just which is not good.
I don't understand. Why is that not good?
I know, I completely disagree with that.
I disagree with that as well.
Yeah,
What's-
just
Oh,
go ahead.
no. Tell me the counter arguments.
You were saying how if your husband provides for you, it insinuates that you get your education, correct? Or,
Yes.
Right? Okay. So I have many friends of mine that are stay-at-home moms, and because they're able to be stay-at-home moms, they also homeschool their kids. So while they're teaching their kids, they're also getting educated because obviously the public school system kind of sucks. So while they're teaching their kids, they're learning everything and teaching their kids, and being a mother in itself is a whole career. So that being able to care for a child is a whole education in itself.
Yes.
And they run their household, so it's almost like an entrepreneurial job.
I was not talking about stay-at-home mothers.
Okay.
Yes, stay-at-home mothers, I'm all for. That's such a positive, I think, to society. I'm just talking about if you're a girlfriend to a man, like, you should not rely on his wallet. There's
That
a
I
difference if
agree.
you're legally married, and then if you divorce, like, then you'll at least be financially compensated. But there's a lot of women who are just girlfriends who rely on a man, and it could end at any moment, and they don't get an education. They just rely on a man, and then they have no backup plan, no education, which is it's dumb.
What if they had an education before?
Then okay, then
It's okay.
Then they have something to rely on.
I don't
if the
think
man
so.
dumps them. But why are you relying on a man on a man's wallet if you have no education, no backup, nothing?
It sounds like you've never had a boyfriend to provide for you.
I don't need a boyfriend to provide for me. I
So
have my
I'm
own
right,
money.
yes?
Yeah, because I don't
Thank
need
you.
I don't need a man to provide for me.
I think it's nice when a man pays for everything but isn't your provider. I mean, I think that there's like a complete difference, but I do think that if you're not married, the money needs to be separate. But whenever I was dating my now husband, like, I expected him to pay every single time, and that's with him having he was a student and had a part-time job and didn't have that much money. So if he wasn't going to pay and didn't have the money, then he had to come up with something creative like a picnic, because I didn't like to pay. So, but I didn't rely on him financially. So I get what you're saying.
I think men naturally want to be providers and protectors, and like when we're looking to date, like right now, like I'm just starting to date someone, but I'm looking for marriage within the end goal in mind. I'm 25. Like, I think it's time. Like, you should try to get married younger, but also like be choosy with who you're picking. You shouldn't just pick any guy that has cash or someone that
Yes.
doesn't have any values. And so you should pick someone, and I'm also a Christian woman, someone that loves God first more than anything, but like wants to lay down his life for his like wife that he's looking for. And so like I think this idea of like hookup culture and like just kind of sleeping around, testing the waters, like is actually really harmful for women. And so we should
Yes.
look for someone that's willing to commit as a provider and protector first, like before you get married. And then once you get married, like you can continue your career, have all those things, but like ultimately I think what brings satisfactory to women is having children, and more than a career could offer.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I'm just, when you're dating someone, you just should not date for financial reasons. You should date because you love them.
Yeah.
You shouldn't date because, oh, they can buy you this or that. And a lot of women fall onto like, oh, he has a bag, or oh, he has a good job, or this and that, and they don't look at the person underneath all of that. And sorry, I can't curse, but it messes up women.
Yeah, but the man should have a job. Like, he
Yes.
should have a stable career. He should be able to provide for a
The
bunch
woman
of kids.
and the
Like,
man. The woman and the man should.
The woman doesn't necessarily
Zero.
have to.
I think
don't
you need a
that
fallback. If you
have
get
to.
divorced and you have no money, no career, what are you going to do? How are you going to support the kids that you do have?
You shouldn't be like marrying someone that you have any kinds of doubts that you're going to divorce. Like, why
Plus
are you
there's
marrying someone
legal
that you think you're going to
that help you
divorce
with
one
that.
day?
Because it happens.
Plus, you can't
be
marry-
living in la la land that you're never going to divorce. You have to have you have to have money just in case.
That's fair,
especially-
but if
especially
that
you have
is
kids.
if that is the case, that you have a contingency plan based around divorce, then wouldn't it be fair for a man to have the contingency plan of having a prenup?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nope.
So I mean, if that's the case,
So then that
Then-
negates your whole point right there.
No prenup.
yeah. Well, it'll
gonna have
essentially
kids
just
with me,
know.
pay
Yeah,
child
it'll know your
support.
position, right? Because if you're saying women need to have some type of way to fall back post divorce, and men also should, then essentially the only option then would be a prenup, right?
No,
Yes.
no prenup, never.
Why? That's,
What do you mean? I'm gonna
So then
literally
why are
give you
you
my
arguing-
vagina,
why are
but
you
you can't
arguing
give
that?
me like your money?
Oh,
no.
wow. Thank you so much.
No,
wow,
why
you
are
gave
you-
someone your vagina. Wow.
Because why are
It's
you
made out of
arguing
fucking
that-
gold. It was spun by Rumpelstiltskin himself. It was made out of gold. The thing is like, so what? He's giving you his penis too. Like, what is like the
because-
great grandiose thing that
Do
he's
you,
being
so
gifted?
do you agree with a
exactly?
prenup?
Yeah, I think that, especially from a secular perspective, I can't think of a single reason why a secular man should even get married. I couldn't give you a single
I agree.
secular argument for why a secular man should even get married. It
It's
makes
true.
zero
It's-
sense. You can get all the
it's not on
benefits.
your-
Hang
on
on.
men's
Let me
side.
explain the argument, then respond to it. Okay? It makes no sense for a secularist to get married. None. I've never been able to figure out a really good argument for why. As it turns out, you can get all of the shit that you want from a woman without ever being married to her and putting yourself in that type of situation where you could be set up for a massive amount of pain because the courts are biased towards men when it comes to divorce. So from a secular perspective, I can't even offer a single argument for why secularists should get married. I can't offer one.
I completely agree with you. I think that if you get married, it's because you're religious. That's it.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you enter into a religious marriage with a woman, unfortunately, the state still comes in. So I would say get a covenant marriage, and I would leave the state out of it altogether. I think that having the state involved with marriage licensing is fucking stupid. And if you're getting married for religious purposes, then why aren't you getting married through the church? Why are you wasting your time at the state at all? Entering into the state contract still gives her incentives to eliminate the marriage. And if it gives incentives to eliminate the marriage, you have a big problem on your hands.
Well, what I am confused about is that she's arguing that men should have the right to get a prenup, but she's also arguing that men should take care of women after
Yeah,
they're
because
married.
she's trying to be consistent with her position, which I have respect for.
She's
so her
not. She just-
position,
she just
yeah, but
countered
it's
herself.
consistent. Yeah, but it's consistent. So she's saying if women are preparing to have a contingency, then it's okay for men to as well. That's consistent. That's at least a consistent position.
I'm so happy
So
that
know,
you gave her that out and answered for her. Thank you.
Well, I didn't answer for her. I explained the position.
That's not yours. I was asking her.
It doesn't need to be mine to explain the position. Like,
So-
you understand? I can understand what a person says and not be speaking for them, right? So I'm not giving an answer from her worldview. I'm just telling you what the worldview is. She's consistently saying if there's an out for one, it's consistent. If there's an out for another, I don't even know. Like, what is the actual argument you have against that? It doesn't nullify it. So what is the actual argument you have against
She
that?
just said that if a man and a woman get divorced, then the woman should have something to fall back on if
Yeah.
the man's taking care for all their bills.
Yeah, but she says that a woman should be falling back on their education and that men should be falling back on a prenup. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I wrong, or is that what you just said?
No, that's exactly what I just said.
Yeah, got it.
Did you also have something else to say? I saw you like come in right before.
No, he explained it.
Does
He
every-
answered for her. It's okay.
I didn't answer.
No, I
also-
didn't answer for her. All I
answered.
did was reiterate the
But I wanted
position
to
so that you
ask
understood it
you-
because you clearly didn't understand it. Now, it is possible that you just didn't understand what she said, and I'm being very charitable about this, right? So,
Why would you go against me wanting women to get an education?
I'm not against that.
Okay.
But I'm also not against men paying for women's everything. In fact, I believe that they
I
should.
didn't say that. I said married.
And I'm saying even if they're dating, I don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't think we should take advantage of men like during the dating phase. I think
If they're
that
willing to do it on their own, like you said, it's innate for them, it's nature. They
in a
want to provide.
marriage, when you're committed to someone for your whole entire life and you've made that commitment and you've said no to everybody else but just to that person. But if you're going around just looking for different men that you can just take advantage of and just take things from, then that's wrong. You shouldn't
And
take advantage of
I
them.
didn't say I wanted to take advantage of men. That's your opinion. I respect it. I just have a different opinion, and we can end it there.
Sure.
yeah, I mean, but let's not end it there because I do want to know. I do want to kind of explore, like, so they gave their positions on this, right? What's your position on this?
I said I think that it's totally okay for a man to provide for a woman in the dating stage. That I'm
Yeah,
not
but
going to quit.
do you think-
I'm not going to quit
Yeah,
working.
hang on. We were talking about prenups. So,
Oh,
do you think that prenup is acceptable for a man?
Yes, but it works both ways. If the woman's dumb enough to not know that she can also have a say in the prenup, that's on her. I personally
Yeah,
know that.
right. So then what is your actual objection if she says that the woman can fall back on her education, the man can fall back on the prenup? What is the actual objection there?
So there wasn't any objection.
Right, there wasn't any objection. So what the fuck are you
Because
arguing
I was
about?
questioning her because she was like countering her own argument. So I wanted her to explain it further. But you
She wasn't
explained it for
countering
her.
her own argument.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
how was she countering her own argument? You didn't even understand her argument.
And thank you for elaborating for her. Now I understand.
Well, somebody needed to elaborate because you didn't. I mean, it's such a simple. I don't know why you didn't understand it. It's very simple.
Yeah, you
She's just
seem
saying
like
one falls
triggered,
back on this,
honestly.
the other falls back on that. I don't even agree with that, but I mean, at least I understood what the hell she said, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Not sure what I missed, but let me quickly address this here because I'm getting not only gaslit by a panelist, but also gaslit by the chat. This is exactly what Tamara said. She said, "No, that's not true. You would date me the last time you told me." So
Then I said that wrong.
last
and I will
time
apologize for
you
that.
told me you would date me. I never said that. That's a false accusation. We've had other women come on the show who say that I'm in their DMs or say that I'm subscribed to their OnlyFans to try to get a clip or to try to, kind of break down what I'm trying to do here. So you tried to gaslight me and say, no, that's not what I said. This is what you said, okay?
Then I will
And for the
apologize
chat
that.
who's also gaslighting me, this is what she said. This is what she said, and it's worthy of a defense.
Then I will absolutely apologize for that.
All right.
Okay. Have you ever heard the song "I'm Sorry"? Have you ever heard that song?
Is that Justin Bieber?
No, it's not Justin Bieber. No, it's an oldie song. It's called "I'm Sorry." Have you ever heard that?
We're all in like our
I'm
20s. No.
sorry. You never heard it?
No.
I feel like you should sing the "I'm Sorry" song. You should do because you're dressed up like Jessica Rabbit and she was a singer. So I thought, you
Do
could sing
not
the
know
"I'm
the
Sorry"
song.
song.
I do not know it.
What's that?
I do not know the song.
You don't know the song? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's too bad. It's a great
Sorry.
song. Of course, there's a woman singing "I'm Sorry," so I'm not surprised that
I
most
did
women don't know the
apologize.
song.
Does your wife sing that to you all the time?
What? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, my wife usually doesn't have anything to be sorry about. Why would she sing that song?
Oh, that's cute. I'm happy for you.
All right, Pelagic, thank you for the $100 super chat, man. Appreciate it. And then we have Pelagic. Prenuptial is nothing to get comfortable with, and never look at it as a fallback.
I 100% agree with that
I
because
agree.
anything could be
Logic.
dealt upon in litigation if you have a good enough lawyer.
That's true. Andrew, can you tune me into what you guys were talking about while I was gone?
Yeah, so we were getting into the idea of contingency plans for marriage. The idea being women should fall back on education was what the one blonde gal on the panel was saying. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. What'd you say your name was?
Jamie.
Jamie, yeah, it was what Jamie was saying was she thinks that men should be able to fall back, women should be able to fall back in education. And so I questioned this by asking, then is it fair for men to fall back on a prenuptial agreement? And she agreed that that seemed to be fair. And then the meta argument was about whether or not she said that or not.
So actually, he's misunderstanding. She didn't say that women should be able to fall back on education. She said they should be able to fall back on their ex-husband's
I did
finances.
not say that. I did not say that whatsoever.
Chat, go back in the chat.
No, don't even say that. I said that women should be educated, and then if they want to be stay-at-home mothers, that would be great, but they need an education to fall back on.
Here's the straw man that you're making, and I actually have it from my notes here. So the straw man that you're making is what she said was there is a way for married women to fall back because they have child support. That's what she actually claimed, which is true, right? That's already the fallback which is there. So she's saying if we absent that, then you would end up with them having to fall back in their education if there was a prenup.
Also, there's other ways.
Still makes consistent. It's still a consistent argument, at least.
So you don't have to have child support for your ex-partner to pay for your lifestyle after marriage.
Yeah, I
Child
totally
support
agree.
is for children.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I do want to say I did misunderstand you. I thought you were saying that once you're married, you need to get an education to fall back on it. Like you're going to get an education because you're thinking like your marriage is going to fail. That's
that is initially what she said, and I do feel like she kind of switched it after that. To be totally fair, that's how I heard it initially too.
Yeah, because
Thank you, Andrew.
Once the argument was clear, that wasn't what you were arguing against. What are you saying thank you for? You were arguing against a totally different argument.
Because we were all confused.
What are you saying thank you for?
Because
There's
we were
no
all
vindication for you.
Well, I was confused. She was confused. You're the one who elaborated till we all understood.
Yeah, I'm actually following the conversation. Isn't that crazy? I'm like actually listening to what people are saying. Isn't that?
No, you're right. You're right. I'm
wild,
so sorry. You're right. I'm so sorry. It will not happen again. How does that song go? I'm sorry.
Nope, that's not how it goes.
Somebody in the chat is asking me to ask about your multiple personalities. Do you have multiple personalities?
No,
Do you know what this is in reference to?
not at all.
Okay, all right, I'll dismiss it then. Did you guys have a back and forth on this whole who should pay thing? Or not who should pay, but you said men should pay for everything and be a provider for women they're dating.
No, not dating.
That's what you said in your notes.
Wait, I'm sorry. I don't think I said that.
Do you think I'm lying?
It's the multiple personality speaking, Brian.
No.
You could have.
I
Well,
think I
okay,
said-
you did
I
say
think
it, but I'll grant if you misspoke,
Okay, I might have misspoke.
you wrote it.
May I see?
Okay.
Where I
Hold on.
See,
You
we're all
won't just take my
confused.
word for it?
No, I mean like okay, maybe I possibly misspoke, but I don't think like dating. I don't mean, sorry, maybe not everything as in like their rent, their lifestyle, their car. I don't mean
Okay.
that.
So what should they provide for them?
If you are dating a man and he should pay for the date,
Okay, why?
because I think that's just manners.
Just manners?
Yes, or yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking like maybe in like gay relationships, there's other things like a woman and a woman or a man and a man. Like
Okay, we're talking about heterosexual relationships.
okay, then a man
so-
should pay.
Okay, why?
It kind of gives you a glimpse of what a marriage will look like. So it's just kind of like him paying for the food, like a little glimpse of the future when he's like paying the mortgage.
I just think it's
Not sure I agree with
Wait,
that, but
wait.
okay.
manners.
Can I say? I actually I think I have a weird opinion on this. Like, I'm okay building a man up, like supporting him while being the girlfriend, and him not paying for everything. Like, I shouldn't expect a man who's my age, like 23, to be able to be financially like providing for literally everything, you know?
If a man asks you on a date, which presumably the woman does not ask a man on a date, let's say, like, and if that's so, then the person who asked the person on a date should pay. I think that's just manners. So I'm just presuming the man would ask the woman on a date. And I think then, yes, a man should pay for the date.
So
Yeah,
whoever
I've heard
asks.
this a lot. Let me give you a little bit of pushback on it, though. So the idea here being if the man asks, the man should pay. And so it's kind of assumed that because men are going to do most of the asking, that men are going to be paying for most of the date. That's what your position on this is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, is that I assume that the woman's going on the date because she wants to be there. So then I don't understand why, if she wants to be there, why shouldn't she pay? I don't get that. It's like if I asked a friend, if I'm like, you want to go to a rock concert this weekend? He's like, yeah. Doesn't mean I pay for the rock concert, right? I assume he wants to go.
But you're not courting your friend.
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything, though? What does the courtship portion of it have to do with anything? I assume that they also want to court you, or they wouldn't go on the date, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's the case, she wants to be there, and he wants to be there, so why does it default to him paying? That's the part of this I've never understood.
If a man did want to go 50-50 with me on a date, I wouldn't be like, whoa, no, or think of him any less. I just think like that's the standard for a man to, or the person who asked to pay.
Yeah, but you said you think they should, that it's good manners.
Pay. A man is supposed to be a provider and a protector. This is a natural role. This is like the order of things. Men like are supposed to be able to provide for their women, and this is setting a standard for the rest of the relationship. I'm not saying that like, or like later on, like maybe you're dating for a year or 2 years, that a woman can never pay for anything. Like personally, like I like to treat like whoever I'm dating like every once in a while, just because I think it's nice and like to show that like, hey, I'm also financially invested in this. But a man is supposed to take control in that kind of a way and to provide for the girl that way. This is gender roles. Like this is how our
Yeah, no, that's
society
just an
has been
appeal
set
to
up.
nature. It's actually a fallacious form of thinking, right? Oh, men should pay because it's natural that men have always paid. It's like, that's not a good argument, especially in modernity. Why should men pay for dates? Why? Why is that necessary that men pay to take you on a date? I assume you want to be on the date. If you don't want to be on the date, then you're just fleecing him, right? That's what you're doing.
If you don't want to be on a date, just don't go. Why
But
are you
I-
there?
That's my whole point, right? It's like if you don't want to be on the date, then just don't go. But I assume if you want to be on the date, why is it assumed he's going to pay for the date? That's the part where we're having the disconnect.
Well, can I say, so for example, I also think of it like, you know, whenever birds are trying to mate, it's the male birds that are the prettiest. They like dance for their female birds. Like females don't say, oh, I'm gonna dance back. Like it's the man who's like dancing. So whenever the man is paying for the dinner, that's him dancing.
Yeah, and black widow spiders will have sex with a mate and then kill them and lay their young inside of their dead corpse. Like looking at animals to determine how human beings are supposed to behave with each other is absurd. That's why we don't appeal to nature. That's why it's a fallacious form of thinking and argumentation. It's like, okay, I can bring up all sorts of counterexamples of black widow spiders doing horrible things to their mates, right? It's like, is that the way we should do things? Should women sleep with a man, then kill him, and then lay their babies inside the man? Like, isn't that absurd, right?
We should be more like black widows, in my opinion.
I feel like if you guys are unsure if you're going to fully commit to each other yet, like if you're still in the getting to know each other phase, it's okay if you guys pay for your own things. And then like once you get in a committed relationship, I do believe like, and she said like treating my man as well. So like, yeah, maybe he pays for some dates, but maybe I ask him out too and I pay for some as well. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I think it ultimately goes back to like our natural design, right? Like I believe in God. I believe that he created a natural order for things. I believe that there's a certain way that we are to live. Mm-hmm. And so in that, like God created man first, and then he created woman to be the helper. And so God created man to be the provider. And so you're asking, why is it this way?
Wait,
Yes,
God did not create the modern social order of chivalry. That was not a creation of God. That was a creation of man.
If you look at this, like the Bible and read the Bible and the New Testament.
I've read the Bible many times, and I'm going to tell you again that the idea in the Bible that men must pay for dates does not exist absent your brain, your headcanon that you just made up. Where should I look at the Bible for men pay for dates? Is that under, I just made that shit up, chapter 9? Like, where can I find that in the Bible?
You can look at husbands love your wives and wives submit to your husbands.
I'm sorry, are we talking about husbands and wives, or are we talking about dating?
Dating, yeah, you're right. There's not too much about dating in the Bible, if anything at all.
Yeah, there's not too much, is there? Because what we have is we have a societal construct for how that works. and appealing to the Bible and saying this means that men have to pay for dates. Where? I mean, how do you even come to this conclusion? It's such a massive leap. Why should men pay for a date in modernity with women? What are they bringing to the table? Are they bringing chastity and virtue and virginity? No. So why is it that we are going to assume that based on this chivalrous code where people would kill each other for the virginity of milady, if there is no more milady, what the hell are we killing each other and paying for exactly?
Are you even arguing about something that you care about? Because something tells me that you would pay for a first date, for the first few dates.
Let's assume that I would. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
So then you're
There are
talking
so
out of
many
your
ladies,
ass.
People, women.
How would that be talking out of my ass to press your
Then you're a
position?
hypocrite. Then you're a
wait,
hypocrite.
I'm sorry. Wait a second. Smoking cigarettes is bad. Do you see that I'm smoking? Should I tell a 5-year-old that they should be able to smoke because I also smoke? Does that even make sense to you?
No, but you're a hypocrite.
No, because it's the stupidest shit anybody's ever heard. What the hell are you talking about?
You're a hypocrite then.
Oh, so I'm a hypocrite if I don't tell a 5-year-old to smoke because
If
I
you smoke, yes.
Oh, okay. So if a person takes medicinal drugs for pain, should they tell a 5-year-old to take medicinal drugs? Otherwise, they're a hypocrite?
If they're prescribed it by a doctor, then.
Okay. Well,
maybe
then let me ask you a series of questions. Have you ever told a lie?
Everyone at this table, including
And never
yourself,
get mad at another person again the rest of your fucking life who lies to you or you're a hypocrite.
We're all hypocrites.
Okay, well then what's your fucking point?
Because you're going
If
on and on
if
and
everybody's
on.
a hypocrite and you're a hypocrite, then calling me a hypocrite means fucking nothing.
So I'm right. You're a hypocrite, and you're arguing about something you
Then
don't even
I'm also
follow
right,
yourself.
you're a hypocrite. What have we established here?
I know, but I'm not going to go on and argue about
So wait,
something
you're
that
a
I don't follow.
hypocrite, I'm a hypocrite, she's a hypocrite, they're a hypocrite. So if everyone's a hypocrite, then it doesn't fucking matter.
But
so
you
we
kinda-
can
you
have the
sound silly.
conversation. Like, this
You
is
sound silly.
absurd on its face.
You sound like
What's
a silly
that?
goose.
I'm sorry, you have a gunt. Like, what do you want me to say?
I have a gun.
A gunt.
Gunt.
Yeah, G-U-N-T. An
What?
actual gunt. And I'm not going to take lip from a woman with a gunt, ever.
What the fuck?
What does that mean? No, define.
You know what? I don't think I can give the definition.
Why?
Then Brian, you do it.
I'd rather not, to be honest.
To go back from before.
Okay, then he's a pussy. He's a pussy because you're gonna say something that I don't get.
All right, calm down, Nicolette. Go ahead.
I think that there are a lot of women, including myself, that are bringing abstinence and chastity to the table that have a lot to offer a lot of men, and that is something that is, I believe, on the rise.
So I got to come in on this really quick, and I'll kind of wrap it into what you just said there. You said you're bringing abstinence and chastity.
Mm-hmm.
Just quick clarification on that. Are you a virgin?
Currently, no.
What do you mean currently?
I mean, not in my, I only been with one person, my ex of 7 years, and then I have
Okay.
committed myself to chastity.
Sure. So you said men should pay for dates, right? Just curious,
Yes.
who's standard? What's your the whole panel? Should men pay for first dates? Show of hands. Show of hands. Yes. I'll go around the table. Yes or no?
I would say no.
Yes.
Yes, but after he explained it, I'd be okay going 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the man asks you, he should pay.
If he asks,
Yes, they should pay.
into the mic, please.
Yes, they should pay.
I'm in between.
Same.
Like,
Yeah. Go ahead.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Should women be virgins?
Ideally, yes. I think I made a really big mistake in my life, and it was before I was really walking with God and really didn't have any morals. And so if I could go back, I would take it back.
Okay. Should women be
My husband was my first, so I was a virgin the entire time dating him.
sure?
So, milady, I was the milady.
Should women stay at home, let the man work, and take care of the kids?
If they want to.
This is a should question. Should they?
That's a very good question. I think yes.
Daisy Chen donated $200.
Oh, boy.
Gunt is
Daisy
slang
Chen.
for a fatty area below the belly button and above the pubic area of a woman, often as a result of childbirth, weight gain, or just having a totally normal body.
Thank you for defining.
All right.
Unlike
Thank
the
you,
pussy.
Daisy Chen.
Wasn't
All
it
right.
Andrew?
Next to the question, I think yes.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so should women stay at home and raise the kids?
I think it's situational, but I think no, if they also have goals they want to pursue.
Okay.
Yes, there should be at least one stay-at-home parent. It doesn't have to be the mother, but
No, but should it be women?
should it be women?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I think that women should do whatever they want to do. So if they want to be a stay-at-home mom and take care of the
no,
kids,
just should. Yes or no?
I think that one size doesn't fit all.
Okay.
It just depends on the context. Like if I was going into the marriage and that's what he wanted me to do, then I should.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. So no, but I mean it depends on each situation and how you guys have started dating and going into marriage.
Personally, for me, yeah.
Okay.
I say yes.
Okay. It's just interesting to me because we don't really have a problem saying men should do this when it comes to their gender roles, their traditional gender roles. Men should be protectors, men should lead, men should be dominant, men should be masculine, men should, men should pay for first dates. But then when we look at women's traditional gender roles, those seem to be far more flexible in the current social order. While women shouldn't have to fall into their traditional gender roles, but men, we need to hold men to their 1950s sexist. If I were to say women should not go to work and they should stay home and take care of the kids, half of you would call me a sexist. But you wouldn't have objections, really, I think, if, and I don't think any of you really do object, if we say men should pay for first dates, which is a traditional gender role and is essentially sexist. If it's sexist to say a woman should do this, then it must correspondingly be sexist to say men should do this.
I don't think it's sexist of you to say that women should stay home.
Well, keep in mind, I'm not saying that. I was just asking the question.
I think all those words are bullshit. Sexist this, sexist that. I think that if everyone should do what the fuck they want to do. In my opinion, if I'm having someone's child, that's what I want. Doesn't mean they should. If they don't want to, then they're not the man for me and I'm not the woman for them. Simple as that. No one should do anything.
Go ahead.
I agree with what you're saying, but I have a question of what you were saying like 10 minutes ago, because I think it's misunderstood. You said a woman should have something to rely on. I think you mean it in a safety way. What if your man would pass away, do not have money, then you can do something to provide for it. I think you mean it in a safety way, not in a must way, I think.
No, not in a must, but you need a...
Then a woman would be safe if something would happen, and then she has a little bag. That's what you mean, right?
I agree with you, Brian. I think that a woman does have a gender role, and there are things that women should do. We're called to be nurturers and to raise up our children. That is something that we fit into. That is what women should do.
But it seems like women's roles are a bit more malleable, whereas there's not quite as much flexibility when it comes to men's roles. For example, Nicolette, you said, well, if a woman, if she wants to be a boss babe and do porn, she can. But also, she can also be a single or stay-at-home mom and take care of the household. But you were very strong on men should pay for first dates.
You're right, I did say that. Should? I don't think should. I don't like that word should, but that's how you asked me.
Okay, well, I can ask it a different way, though.
In my opinion, I wouldn't put up with...
If you went on a date with a guy and he said 2 checks, will there be a second date?
No, but that's me.
I mean,
I'm not the same. I'm not the same as her. So should doesn't exist.
Would you build a man up if he's studying very hard and is getting somewhere in his life? So in 2 years he will be
well, personally,
would you help him because you're making already money? Would you work together and help him up? Or is that a no-go if he would be like, you know what, I would love to take you on a date, but I cannot pay it full, but I really like you, I'm building something. Would you like be a team and like go forward together, or is that like a no-go?
Personally, myself, I turned 25 in a couple of weeks. I'm too old to help build a man up. And even if I did, in my 7-year relationship from 15 to 22, just like you, he still provided for me.
Yeah, but like 25 is still school age or
Yeah.
not. So how can he like really be
Not in
already
America.
that top level man already? That's
No,
hard on
not
a man.
for me.
It's a lot of pressure on a man actually.
So then I'm going to look something different than you would.
No, that's okay, but it's quite a lot of pressure you put on a man, right?
Well, he can accept it or not.
Men's prime is typically actually like early 30s, I'm pretty
Yeah, I
sure.
think
So
so, too.
they're like still building themselves up during their 20s. I guess that's why I understand you're not. I'm just saying like my perspective. That's why like with the last guy that I liked, I understood he's still going to school, he's still sorting his stuff out, and I would support him, you know, if he needed help studying, like I'd be there with him, you know, trying to be like flashcards, you know, like little stuff like that. But I understand it's not for everyone.
And personally, I'm not dating guys my age. I'm dating older.
That already had something, so you will never help a man up. Only date a man who already has the things.
I want someone who will make me better.
But that's also like then you provide from him, right? So you will not help a man up, but you want a man to help you up.
Yes.
It's a bit transactional.
That's a little.
Yeah.
It's the same
Call
thing,
it what
but
you
different.
want. That's what I want. And you want something different that doesn't make me wrong or you right or vice versa. It's just
You-
what I want and what you want.
You want to meet someone at the finish line, and for example, I want to run the race with them, basically. That's just how I would put it in terms.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I met my husband, he was going to full-time. He like went to full-time school and worked part-time, and I dropped out of school after like 2 months, and so I worked all the time. And I loved when he would pay, but our dates looked like we're gonna go get coffee or we're gonna go get chips and guacamole, like very non-expensive dates. And it was great because he had to be really creative with what he had. So I didn't expect to go on luxurious dates at all, but I did expect him to, like, if you don't have money, then go buy like a loaf of bread and we're gonna go give them to the ducks at the lake or something. But he was still in that sense providing, and I saw how he was working extremely hard in school to one day, you know, be a provider for a family.
And I'm not going to lie, there's multiple ways to be chivalrous as well, in my opinion, like opening doors or like, you know, I've had a man even like buckle me into my seat and like stuff like that. Like, or cut my food for me. You know, maybe he can't pay for the bill, but he'll cut my food for me because he knows I like it in small pieces. Like stuff like that. There's little things that men can do to show acts of kindness without money being involved.
But also keep in mind, I'm a stripper and I do OnlyFans, so my standard of man is really high.
But
Wait,
why
you're-
is that high? I'm on OnlyFans as well. You cannot say you're a valuable woman if you
Wait,
fuck
it's
every
high
guy.
because of that?
Yes, it's high because people men give me money for nothing. So
Do you do scenes with men? That makes a difference.
So in the 6 years of me doing OnlyFans, I've done 4 male scenes.
So you want a man that's high value, only commits to you, but you can go to your job and be like, yeah, fuck it, it's just work.
Well,
I'm doing the same work. I do not do scenes with men, but
you accept less. So my definition of high value
I
is
accept
different
less.
than yours.
So you're being naked every strip week is me accepting. You accepting more of a man.
It's all
than me
about
expecting.
perspective. In my perspective, yes. In your perspective, I don't deserve a high value man.
Can you man be a gigolo or anything like that? Can he be a stripper, gigolo, anything? Can he go naked every day?
No.
But you can.
Yes. And they have to be okay with it or not, and that's their decision, which makes my pool of men much smaller, and I acknowledge that and I accept that.
So then your pool of men will be more high valuable than.
And
all
like
of
I
us.
said, everyone at this table's definition of high value is completely different. So we can't use high value. So if you say that, I can't say, oh yes, high value, high value. I'm explaining to you what my definition of high value. A high value man, to my opinion, is someone who will respect my work, respect my past, and still want to do that stuff for me.
I can concede that the definitions that everybody will have of high value would be different, but you would also have to concede that there's going to be uniformities which are agreed upon about what is not high value. So for instance, let me give you an example of this in real time. At the table, raise your hand if a high value man beats the shit out of you.
Sorry, I thought you said doesn't. My bad.
No. Okay, so we can so then we can rule many things out as at least not being that thing.
Let's
right?
act-
So
I would like-
so hang on. So if we can rule a bunch of things out that aren't the thing, I think we can at least get somewhat closer to the agreement of what the thing itself is. So when you're talking about high value, don't you think that society, especially women, would view men who have more money than men who have less money as being probably more valuable, all things equal? Meaning if they have the same looks, generally the same personality, one just happens to be far richer, don't you think that the one would be considered generally more high valuable than the other by almost everybody's metric?
I agree with you completely. And what's actually people don't realize or don't want to admit is that OnlyFans girls and strippers, we get the most high value men approaching us.
No, because they're paying you for a good time.
Well, hang on. You're definitely not marrying them, and you're definitely not ending up with them, and that's definitely not who you end up getting a ring from and living the happily ever after Julia Roberts' Pretty Woman
We
life
are the
with,
transaction.
right?
That's who?
I will agree that for a time in your youth, that many of what you would consider these traits for high value, rich, handsome, this type of thing, probably do approach you around that age group. But I'm not sure what that proves exactly.
So it
or
proves
what
is
that
that
means exactly.
that story of that first date I went on where the guy brought me flowers on his birthday, 5-star restaurant. I met him at the strip club. I've met his parents. He wants to pursue something serious with me. So your point is wrong.
Well, no. Okay. Well, how come then? I see so many tales of kind of former prostitutes and former strippers on panels like these, hundreds upon hundreds of them all across the world, being interviewed by various people where they say, man, I really wish I hadn't done that because later in life it brought my value down such that I could not net the thing that I truly wanted. When I was in my 20s, men would utilize this for their own gain, but they were never putting a ring on it.
So the reason why they do that is because by doing OnlyFans or by being prostitutes, they did something that went against their morals and values. Me, I can sleep at night.
No, I don't think they're not talking about morals and values. Most of them are secularists, in fact. They don't have any objective morals or values. They just say, the thing that I wanted later in life.
And that's the problem and why they're unhappy in their lifestyle. I can sleep at night saying, I have not done anything that goes against my morals and values, and I'm happy. And I have men who want to take me seriously.
I'm not saying it's against your morals or your values, though. That's not.
Yes,
that's
and I'm
not my
answering your
argument.
question. The reason why so many
But you
girls.
haven't even heard my argument. How could you answer to it?
Well, you said why do so many girls on these panels who are ex-prostitutes or whatever?
Yeah, but your argument to that was to say it's because they did something which violated their morals or values. I'm telling you, no, they don't have any objective morals or values. They're saying this is fine within my moral paradigm. It's just that it made me miserable later in life because, as it turns out, when you're 35 and you fuck 200 men and the beauty which is now fleeted, most men look at that and go, well, I'd rather not have that, right?
Well, that sucks for them.
Do you still date that man because he gave you
do you
everything?
disagree that it's true?
You're still dating him?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Can I ask
Yeah, but
why
my
you
question
have
is,
a
do you
double
disagree
standard?
that it's true that
Why
men...
it's okay for you to do all these things, but not okay for him to do all those things?
Everything is a double standard. Can I explain it? No. Do I believe in it? Yes.
So you just have cognitive dissonance, like you just kind of take it as it is.
Yeah, I mean, if people think too fucking much about life and right and wrong and all this shit, just fucking do what makes you happy at the end of the day.
Is that your
Said every serial killer ever?
Erroneous.
I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry, should a serial killer be a serial killer because it makes them happy?
As long as you're doing doesn't affect other people, I don't really give a
Serial
fuck.
killer kills
Yeah, but
people.
everything you do affects other
That's-
people, everything.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing you do which does not affect other people, nothing. Right now you're speaking, that affects other people. Okay, you going to the grocery store, that affects other people. You having a job, it affects other people. You spending money, it affects other people.
In a negative
the
way.
idea that everything you do doesn't affect other people is absurd. Everything you do
Doc
does.
Vinably donated $199. Bricks.